Do you know why most people never reach their full potential? It's not because they lack intelligence. It's not because they lack resources. It's because they lack the mindset, the unshakable mental strength to push through when life gets hard. Discipline is the bridge between who you are today and who you are capable of becoming, and that bridge is not built with bursts of fleeting motivation, but with the bricks of daily choices made even when you don't feel like it. Motivation is unreliable. It's like a guest that shows up uninvited, stays for a while, and disappears when you need it most. Discipline, on the other hand, is like the spine of your character, holding you upright when your emotions want to drag you down. Think about how often people make promises to themselves, only to abandon them the moment the initial excitement fades. They start a workout plan because they feel inspired. They begin a new project because they feel pumped. But when the energy dips, so does their commitment. That is the trap of depending on motivation. Discipline is what keeps you moving forward when every part of you is whispering excuses to stop. When you force yourself to do what needs to be done, regardless of your mood, you begin to rewire your brain. You teach yourself that your actions are not dictated by feelings, but by decisions. It's like training a muscle. The more you practice discipline, the stronger it becomes, and soon, tasks that once felt impossible become automatic. You wake up earlier not because you're excited, but because your body and mind are conditioned to obey the standard you set. You push through discomfort not because you want to, but because you've built an inner command system that values progress over temporary comfort. This is the essence of building the strongest mindset, to create a structure within yourself that can withstand the ups and downs of life without crumbling under pressure. Discipline over motivation means doing the workout when you're tired, studying when you'd rather scroll through your phone, working on your goals when no one is watching or applauding. It's in those silent, uncelebrated moments that the foundation of greatness is laid. The athlete doesn't win on the day of competition. He wins on the days he trains while others sleep. The entrepreneur doesn't succeed when the business goes public. She succeeds on the countless nights she stayed up refining her vision while others were binge watching shows. Discipline is the invisible currency of success, paid in sweat, consistency, and sacrifice, and only those willing to pay it fully earn the rewards. And the beauty of discipline is that it compounds. Every small act of self-control adds up, creating momentum that eventually becomes unstoppable. What starts as a struggle turns into a lifestyle, and what was once difficult becomes part of your identity. This doesn't mean the process is easy. Forcing yourself to act when you don't want to is uncomfortable, sometimes painfully so. But discomfort is not your enemy. It is the training ground for your character. Every time you resist the pull of laziness or distraction, you are not just completing a task. You are teaching yourself that you are in control, not your emotions, not your impulses. This is where real strength is born. Motivation tells you to act when it feels good. Discipline commands you to act because it's necessary. Over time, this command becomes the voice you trust, the guide you follow, the standard you refuse to break. People with discipline don't wait for the perfect moment. They create progress in imperfect moments. They understand that momentum is built in motion, not hesitation. If you want to develop the strongest mindset, you must decide that discipline will be your foundation. You must accept that your feelings cannot be trusted to guide your future. One day you'll feel inspired, the next day drained. But if you depend on discipline, neither state will matter. You will keep moving forward regardless. And that is the secret. Motivation might get you started, but only discipline keeps you going. Only discipline transforms effort into excellence, and only discipline makes you unshakable. Do you want me to expand keynote note point 2, comfort is the enemy, into the same 600-word motivational style? Comfort is seductive. It whispers promises of ease, safety, and relaxation. But what it never tells you is that it robs you of growth. The strongest minds are not formed in moments of comfort. They are forged in the crucible of discomfort, challenge, and resistance. Comfort lulls you into stagnation. It convinces you that where you are is good enough, that you don't need to push harder or strive for more. But every time you choose comfort over effort, you trade away a piece of your potential. You settle for mediocrity when greatness was within your reach. People often wonder why they feel stuck in life, why their goals remain dreams, why progress feels like a distant horizon. The answer is simple but difficult to accept. They've chosen comfort too many times. They've chosen the couch over the gym, distraction over discipline, procrastination over purpose. And in those small daily choices, the mindset weakens, the willpower erodes, and the spirit loses its edge. Discomfort, on the other hand, is the birthplace of transformation. When you willingly step into situations that challenge you, you ignite growth within yourself that comfort could never provide. Think about how muscles are built. They don't grow by staying relaxed. They grow by being pushed, stretched, and even torn under resistance. The same is true of the mind. When you force yourself into discomfort, when you face the challenges that scare you, you are stretching the limits of your mental endurance. You are proving to yourself that you are capable of more than you imagined. Every time you push through discomfort, you gain strength, resilience, and confidence. That is why the strongest individuals are not those who avoided pain, but those who embraced it, those who learned to be comfortable in uncomfortable situations. Comfort is the enemy because it deceives you into thinking that life should be easy, but easy never built anyone's character. Easy never created innovation. Easy never pushed humanity forward. Easy never raised champions. The world you admire, the progress you benefit from, the inventions that changed history, all of it was born from people who chose discomfort, who risked failure, rejection, and pain to achieve something greater. The truth is that comfort zones are prisons disguised as paradise. They keep you trapped in routines that feel safe, but quietly kill your ambition. You might not notice the chains at first, because comfort feels good, but over time you wake up and realize you've wasted years standing still. To build the strongest mindset, you must learn to resist the pull of comfort. It's not that comfort has no place in life. Rest and recovery are necessary. But when comfort becomes your default, your mind softens. The strongest mindset requires the ability to delay gratification, to endure the pain of discipline for the reward of growth. When you deny yourself the easy way, you train your mind to see beyond the moment, to value the future over the present. It's in that space of struggle where identity is forged. You become someone who doesn't run from difficulty, but faces it head on. You begin to see discomfort not as suffering, but as opportunity. You realize that every hard situation is a chance to build strength, and every challenge faced is another brick added to the fortress of your mindset. The danger of comfort is that it makes excuses sound reasonable. It tells you that it's fine to skip today because you'll do it tomorrow. It tells you that one little distraction won't hurt. It tells you that you deserve a break when what you really need is consistency. The more you listen, the weaker you become, and before you know it, you've trained your mind to surrender instead of fight. Breaking this cycle requires deliberate effort. You must force yourself into environments that test you. Sign up for the challenge you're afraid of. Take on the task you've been avoiding. Step into the conversation that makes you uncomfortable. Each time you do, you break another layer of comfort's grip, and with it, you sharpen your resilience. Discomfort teaches you humility. It teaches you persistence. It teaches you strength. It strips away illusions and shows you who you really are when things aren't easy. That's when character is revealed. Anyone can stay motivated when conditions are perfect, but only those with strong mindsets can remain focused when everything is hard. That is why comfort must be seen as the enemy. It doesn't challenge you. It doesn't force growth. It doesn't reveal your strength. The strongest mindset is built only when you choose to step into the fire of discomfort again and again until it no longer breaks you but builds you. Would you like me to move on and expand keynote? No point theories. Consistency builds power into 600 words in the same motivational style. Consistency is the silent force that separates those who dream from those who achieve. Anyone can work hard for a day. Anyone can push themselves when they feel inspired, but very few have the strength to keep showing up when the excitement fades. Consistency doesn't look glamorous, it's not dramatic, and it doesn't give you instant results. It is repetitive, it is often boring, and it demands patience. Yet it is in this steady, relentless repetition that real power is built. When you commit to doing something every single day, regardless of how you feel, you are compounding small efforts into massive results. The human brain is wired to adapt, and when you consistently feed it the same discipline, the same focus, and the same habits, it begins to reprogram itself. What once felt like a struggle becomes second nature, and what once seemed impossible becomes routine. Think of water dripping on a stone. One drop does nothing, 10 drops change nothing. But after thousands of drops, the stone is worn down. That is the power of consistency. It may not seem to make an impact in the moment, but over time, its effects are undeniable. The same principle applies to building the strongest mindset. Reading a single page today won't change your life, but reading every day for a year will transform your thinking. Doing a single workout won't change your body, but training regularly will reshape it completely. Practicing one small act of discipline won't make you unshakable, but doing it day after day will. Consistency is the compound interest of effort. The longer you stay committed, the more powerful the results become, and the less likely you are to fall back into old habits. Consistency also builds credibility with yourself. Each time you follow through on a commitment, you reinforce trust in your own word. When you say you will wake up early, and you do, when you say you will work on your goals, and you do, you create a bond with yourself that cannot be broken easily. Most people fail not because they lack talent, but because they don't trust themselves to stay the course. They start strong, but when progress feels slow, they abandon the path. Consistency is the antidote to that cycle. It reminds you that progress is not about intensity for a few days, but about endurance for the long haul. The strongest mindset is built on this foundation of endurance. The ability to keep moving forward with unwavering discipline, even when no one is watching and no immediate reward is visible. Consistency is also the greatest teacher. When you repeat something daily, you don't just get better at it, you learn about yourself. You discover your weaknesses, your triggers, your distractions, and through this process, you gain mastery over them. Each day becomes a lesson in resilience, patience, and self-control. And the truth is, consistency is not about perfection. You will stumble, you will fall, you will have days when you don't meet your standard. But what matters is that you don't quit. Showing up again the next day is the very essence of consistency. It is this refusal to give up that transforms ordinary people into extraordinary achievers. The world admires talent, but talent without consistency is wasted potential. The world celebrates victories, but victories without consistency are accidents. The strongest mindset is one that doesn't depend on moods, doesn't rely on luck, and doesn't get shaken by setbacks. Because it has been trained through steady, repeated action, the beauty of consistency is that it eventually creates momentum. At first, it feels like pushing a heavy boulder uphill. Every step is difficult, every moment requires energy. But with time, that boulder begins to roll, and eventually it gathers speed. The same happens with your habits and mindset. Once consistency takes over, the effort decreases while the results increase. You reach a point where success becomes inevitable because the structure of your life is designed for it. The strongest mindset isn't built in a single breakthrough moment, but in countless days of showing up, doing the work, and refusing to quit. It's the quiet persistence, the daily grind, the repeated effort that nobody else sees. That is where true strength is born, and that is how consistency builds a power that nothing can shake. Do you want me to continue with keynote No. 4's mental strength equals life strength, expanded into 600 words in the same tone? Mental strength is the foundation upon which every other area of life is built, because the way you think shapes the way you live. A strong body can carry you for a while. Wealth can provide comfort for a season. Talent can open doors temporarily. But without mental strength, none of these things can be sustained. Life will test you in ways you cannot predict. And when the storms come, it is not your physical abilities or your possessions that keep you standing. It is the strength of your mind. A strong mindset allows you to navigate uncertainty with clarity, to endure hardship with resilience, and to remain focused on your purpose when distractions surround you. People often underestimate the power of mental strength, but it is the invisible force that influences every choice, every habit, and every outcome you experience. When you develop mental strength, you gain the ability to control your emotions instead of being controlled by them. Fear may arise, doubt may creep in, anger may flare up. But with a strong mind, you don't allow those emotions to dictate your decisions. Instead, you act from principle, discipline, and clarity. Think about the difference this makes in relationships, careers, and health. A person without mental strength reacts impulsively, breaks under pressure, and surrenders when things get tough. A person with mental strength pauses, evaluates, and pushes forward despite discomfort. This difference is what separates those who crumble when life gets hard from those who rise stronger than before. The strongest mindset becomes an anchor, grounding you in moments when everything else feels unstable. Mental strength equals life strength because the challenges you face are not just external, they are internal battles first. When you face rejection, it is your mindset that determines whether you see it as a reason to quit or a lesson to grow. When you encounter failure, it is your mindset that decides whether you stay down or rise again. When you are tempted to give in to distractions, it is your mindset that chooses whether you stay disciplined or drift off course. Every outcome you achieve in life is filtered through the strength of your mind. That is why two people can experience the same hardship, and one becomes broken while the other becomes unshakable. The difference is not the situation, but the mental strength they bring into it. Mental strength also creates resilience, and resilience is what allows you to endure what others cannot. Life will knock you down, sometimes more than once, and only those with mental strength learn to get back up every single time. This resilience spreads into every part of life. In business, it allows you to persist when ventures fail. In health, it keeps you committed to the process, even when progress feels slow. In personal growth, it reminds you that becoming better takes time, effort, and sacrifice. Without mental strength, setbacks destroy you. With mental strength, setbacks refine you. This resilience becomes a shield against the chaos of the world, protecting you from despair and keeping you focused on the bigger picture. A strong mind also sharpens decision making. It allows you to think long-term, to resist instant gratification, and to prioritize what truly matters. Weak minds chase pleasure, strong minds pursue purpose. Weak minds are swayed by the opinions of others. Strong minds remain committed to their own path. Weak minds look for shortcuts. Strong minds endure the process. This ability to stay clear-headed when others panic gives you an advantage in every area of life. People are drawn to those who display strength under pressure because it inspires trust. And this trust becomes an asset in leadership, relationships, and influence. Mental strength makes you dependable, consistent, and capable of handling responsibilities that others shy away from. Mental strength equals life strength, because life is not a smooth path. It is a battlefield filled with challenges, distractions, and trials. Only a strong mind can carry you through it without breaking. It empowers you to face fear with courage, uncertainty with confidence, and pain with patience. It transforms obstacles into opportunities, struggles into lessons, and failures into stepping stones. When you realize that everything in life is filtered through the state of your mind, you begin to understand why building mental strength must be your highest priority. A strong mindset doesn't just help you survive life. It helps you thrive in it, no matter what challenges come your way. Do you want me to expand keynote no ponfais? Excuses destroy growth into the same 600-word motivational style. Excuses are the chains that keep people locked away from their own potential. They seem harmless because they sound reasonable, but they are silent killers of progress. Every time you tell yourself you can't, every time you convince yourself you'll start tomorrow, every time you justify inaction, you are feeding weakness and starving growth. Excuses come in many forms: not enough time, not enough resources, not enough energy, not the right circumstances. But the truth is, these are not barriers, they are stories. Stories that protect your comfort, stories that shield you from the discomfort of discipline, stories that prevent you from facing the truth, that you are capable of more. The strongest mindset rejects these stories because it understands that excuses do not build results. Only action does. Growth requires responsibility, and responsibility requires honesty. When you accept your excuses, you are lying to yourself. You are telling yourself that something outside of you is controlling your destiny, when in reality, it is your choice that defines your outcome. Excuses place the blame elsewhere, but accountability pulls the power back into your hands. The person who takes full responsibility without excuses gains control over their life. They stop waiting for perfect conditions, they stop blaming others, and they stop wasting time. They take action with what they have, where they are, because they know progress is built in imperfect conditions. The strongest individuals are not those who had the easiest circumstances. They are those who refuse to let circumstances become excuses. Excuses destroy growth because they create patterns of weakness. Each time you give in to an excuse, you reinforce the belief that you are incapable. You tell your mind that it is okay to quit, that comfort is more valuable than progress. Over time, this weakens not only your discipline, but also your identity. You begin to see yourself as someone who doesn't follow through, and this identity shapes every area of your life. On the other hand, when you break free from excuses, you develop a mindset of resilience. You begin to see challenges as opportunities rather than obstacles. You stop saying, "I can't," and start asking, "How can I?" That simple shift in language rewires your brain to look for solutions instead of barriers, and in doing so, you create momentum that drives growth. The truth is that excuses are endless, and if you wait for the perfect moment, it will never come. People who succeed do so not because they had fewer problems, but because they refused to let problems define their actions. They acted in spite of fear, in spite of lack, in spite of doubt. They understood that the cost of excuses is always greater than the discomfort of discipline. Every excuse pushes your dream further away, but every action pulls it closer. The gap between who you are and who you want to be is filled with excuses, and the only way to cross that gap is to eliminate them. Once you decide that excuses are no longer an option, growth becomes inevitable. Excuses also limit vision. They blind you to possibilities by convincing you that progress is impossible. They create a mental ceiling that holds you back, even when opportunities are within reach. The strongest mindset breaks that ceiling by refusing to believe in limitations. It understands that most obstacles are mental, not physical. History is filled with examples of people who achieved greatness despite overwhelming odds, and their secret was simple. They did not allow excuses to dictate their story. They embraced struggle as fuel, they used setbacks as lessons, and they turned every no into motivation for a stronger yes. When you abandon excuses, you step into this same power. You begin to live as if nothing can hold you back. Because in truth, nothing can, except the excuses you choose. To believe excuses destroy growth because they keep you comfortable in the short term, but cost you everything in the long term. They are easy to make, but their price is regret. Growth demands sacrifice, it demands action, it demands discomfort, and excuses are the enemy of all three. If you want to build the strongest mindset, you must recognize excuses for what they are, lies that keep you from becoming who you were meant to be. The moment you stop feeding excuses, you start feeding growth, and that decision transforms not just your habits, but your entire life. Do you want me to now expand keynote no. 6 Mindset is earned, not given, into 600 words in the same powerful tone. No one is born with an unshakable mindset. It is not a gift handed out at birth. It is something that must be earned through choices, sacrifices, and persistence. The strongest mindset is built in the quiet moments when no one is watching, in the small decisions repeated every single day, and in the struggles that test your patience and resolve. People often look at others who are mentally strong and think they were simply lucky, that they were born different. But what they fail to see are the years of discipline, the countless failures, and the endless hours of pushing through when giving up would have been easier. Mindset is not inherited, it is forged, and the forging process is never comfortable. When you realize that mindset is earned, you stop waiting for inspiration to strike or for life to hand you strength. You begin to take responsibility for shaping your own inner world. Each time you choose discipline over laziness, each time you face discomfort instead of running from it, each time you rise after falling, you are depositing into the account of mental strength. Over time, those deposits grow into a fortune of resilience that no one can take from you. It is not a single, dramatic act that builds the strongest mindset, but the accumulation of daily acts of courage, consistency, and self-control. This is why so many people struggle to achieve it. Because they want the reward without the process, the outcome without the effort, the mindset without the grind. Earning a mindset means embracing the struggle, not avoiding it. Every challenge you face is an opportunity to strengthen your mind. Adversity is the training ground where resilience is born, and without it, your mindset remains soft. The strongest individuals are those who have endured setbacks, disappointments, and failures, and instead of breaking, they allowed those experiences to shape them. They refused to let pain define them, and by pushing through it, they earned a mindset that can withstand anything. Weakness is easy, excuses are easy, comfort is easy, but strength is rare because it requires a willingness to endure what most people run from. That willingness is the price you must pay if you want to earn the mindset that sets you apart. The process of earning a mindset is also a process of self-mastery. You learn to control your impulses, to quiet the voice of doubt, to keep moving even when motivation is gone. You realize that your emotions are not in charge. You are. This mastery doesn't come overnight. It is the result of hundreds of battles fought within yourself. Every morning when you wake up and choose action instead of delay, you win a battle. Every time you resist distraction and stay focused, you win a battle. Every time you silence fear with courage, you win a battle. These victories may seem small in isolation, but together they create a warrior of the mind, someone who cannot be shaken by external circumstances because their strength comes from within. Earning a mindset also requires patience. We live in a world that craves instant results, but mental strength is not built instantly. It is built slowly, like carving a statue out of stone, each strike shaping the figure, each effort removing what is unnecessary. Day by day, decision by decision, you chip away at weakness and reveal the strength beneath. There are no shortcuts, no hacks, no easy paths. The only way is through the repetition of effort and the willingness to keep going when it feels endless. This is what separates those who dream of strength from those who embody it. The mindset is not handed out, it is claimed through persistence. And the moment you truly understand that mindset is earned, not given, you free yourself from waiting. You stop looking for external sources of power and start building it within yourself. You stop hoping for strength to arrive and start creating it through action. You stop envying those who seem unshakable and start working to become unshakable yourself. The strongest mindset is not reserved for a chosen few. It is available to anyone willing to pay the price. That price is consistency, discipline, resilience, and sacrifice. Those who pay it earn something far greater than talent or luck. They earn a mind that cannot be broken, a mind that turns obstacles into opportunities, a mind that thrives where others quit.